Well, hello, city, hello, world, and welcome to another installation of the Gospel Jazz Connection. This is D Nice, man, and we're having a good time here. Okay, we started in another year, and my shouts out to those, and I'd like to say in the new year, thank you first and foremost to our host Makita. She's been a blessing over the last 6 months. She came in and just was putting it down. She's doing her project individually, and we have started to implement some work at our studio, other studio that we have going on, to where we're going to be able to do a 24-hour reel going on, and you know what I'm saying, we're going to just kind of pull her away from her project when she finishes with it, so she can have her show going on, and I'm looking forward to helping her build that going on. So meantime, in between time, we're still here just doing what we're doing, and we've been blessed. I'd like to bring in two guys that just came up. We were just kind of like at my peak's end. You heard it in my voice last week. I was like, Lord, how long? I felt like that cat on the picture trying to hold on to the fence, and it says, baby, hold on. And these brothers I met, they came down to the studio this weekend, and we had a blessed talk. And I let them know, guys, you know what? I'm at my wit's end. And they said, you know what? Both of them are musicians of a high acclaim. They've been on the road and doing their thing with some major players, and they're doing their own thing now. But they were blessed enough to say, you know what? I see what you're doing here, and I'll come down and help you keep going. We're going to help wire it up and do the things we need to do. And they said over at KTYM, said, don't even worry about it, dude. You've been hanging in there. We got your back. Yes, so thank you guys for coming up and coming on to help out, man. And so now there's new life breathed in, and so yes, thank you. But I'd like to thank Makita, because she was there to hold us down when we were doing milk and cookies and crackers. You know what I'm saying? So this is D Nice, and this is the Gospel Jazz Connection. And what we do every week is we just sit back and just, you know, for the next 60 minutes, we're just going to just do some great fellowship and some great music. And today we have a special guest, man. We have the one, the only, the spectacular, the guy who I am so glad to call my friend. He started out with the family. And all of you guys know and heard of the Williams brothers. Okay, that's Melvin calling in now. So hold on one second. Let me get him on. Okay. Yellow. Melvin, you there? Okay, hold on. Let me get you set up. Hold on. Okay. Okay, so folks, we have a guest today, and you know what? I can sit back and for the next hour, for the next day, I can sit back and talk about this young man and what he does, and he's such a blessing. He's such a blessing to the industry, and I'd like to first and foremost, before we get too further into the conversation, I'd like to thank Bridget. Bridget, thank you very much for working with this guy's schedule and allowing him to take that little time off, you know what I'm saying, to come and join us on the air. I appreciate you, Bridget. One of the top award-winning managers out there. And so, Bridget Furry, thank you very much. Lady D, thanks for being there. She introduced me to those people that I needed to know. And Bridget and Melvin, I'm glad to have met you. And like I said, once again, Melvin came on the show and he did an unplug for me, and it was just like off the chain. I just praise God for what he brought in. And so he's joining us today on the radio, and we're calling this today the Melvin Williams Takeover. And so, Melvin, how you doing today, brother?
I'm doing great, man. Doing great.
Man, we're looking forward to just chopping up with you. So I know you got a lot to say and a lot to do, and it's all good. And so, you know what? Before we go any further, let me introduce you to the cats that man stepped up and say, you know what? We want to help take this to another level. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all about just trying to do the work of the Lord here. And I came on to just over here. I've been here for ages, man. When it was 1460 AM, and with Gospel Jazz Connections, always been a part of what the team is. But when them folks came in there and decided to just kind of like, Satan stays busy, and did what they did. Then Pastor stepped up. Pastor Blackman, thank you very much for being a man that's obedient to God's word. Amen. And he stepped up and he said, you know what, I'm not going to let this go down. So he took over the station and put it into the new age, where it's audio video streaming, because never before have I been on radio and got to see myself. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot to get used to, but I'm blessed that he said, let's do this. And so that's been a blessing to have him. And he runs a station station now, and God has got some wonderful things for him. So we're looking forward to some great things. But like I said, as far as me, it's not about D-Nice. It's not about Gospel Jazz Connection. We've been doing our thing. We can go anywhere and do our thing. It's all about getting God's work done. I was led to come over here to KTYM.media. For those listening, tune into KTYM Media and take time to tell a friend, because we do it right here. We do this every week like this. And I got a new team of players, and let's set up with it right now before we get into this one here. Right now, coming out of the corner here, yeah. Go ahead.
Hey, how's it going? How's things going? I just wanted to tell y'all, keep God first, and keep praying until it works.
That's what I'm saying. And out of the next corner, we had the one, the only. Tell us who you be, man.
This is the Kerry Sims.
He said the Kerry Sims.
The Kerry Sims.
Kerry, thanks for coming on, man.
I appreciate being here.
Yeah.
It's been an awesome day today, and what a way to close out the day.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah. And this is the start of a new one. Now we're going to go over here, and I'm going to bring this up here now, because we're talking to our boy Melvin Williams, and it's like we got up on the scene right here, his CD cover, Where I Started From. And Melvin, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take it back to where I started from. Because I'm just glad I was able to call you my friend, man. And we came on and did an unplugged, man. And you just, man, got so much going on, man. So we've got some videos set up to go to, and we just have a good time up in here. But we're gonna open it up for a second. And for those, just give you time to go onto your computers and pull up KTYM.media, because if you're there, we have an excerpt. It's about a couple minutes, and it's with the brothers and everybody there. So we're going to just take a peek at this one right quick, and let's set this up, and then Melvin, we're going to come right back and start talking to you, okay? Okay, here we go. Let's play this one. Let me see. Did I play this?
Survive Henry. He was a good-looking man. But God been good to us all the way, and we had some good times. God blessed us down through the years. It's somebody sang the song "Prayer Still Works." Who sang that?
That's the Bell Show.
Prayer still works. No matter what you're going through, God will work it out for you. I'm a witness of that. He'll work it out for you. And I know Melvin and Doug can testify to that. God will work it out.
Thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you on the next cruise, okay?
All right.
Okay. So that was a little bit of an excerpt of another show you were doing. So, Melvin, jump in here, and let's go back a minute, will you please? Let's go back to them humble beginnings, man, where it first started from, and let's bring the people up a little bit about where you're at, okay?
All right. So first of all, let me just say Happy New Year to everybody, and thank you for taking out the time to do this interview with me.
Okay, what we're going to do, Melvin, is if we talk as loud as you can, because we need to get this volume going, so we need to make sure that we can hear you all the way across. So go ahead, please.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's a better volume, please. Thanks.
Okay. All right. I was just saying Happy New Year to everybody, and I appreciate you having me on the show to do this interview. But going back, man, it really goes back to my father and my mom. Back in the day when we were kids, man. Wasn't really some of us wasn't even born.
Some of us.
My dad used to sing in a group called the Big Four. And my mom, on my mom's side, my grandfather used to sing and play a little guitar. So it's kind of in the bloodline. And so then I grew up listening to my older brothers, the Jackson Southerners and Frank Williams, the Williams clan, man. So we brought up in the church, brought up singing, and my dad actually heard us out on the porch singing. Me and my sister and Leonard. I don't know if Doug was too big. He was probably too small to even sing at the time. But he heard us on the front porch, and they brought us in the house. I don't even remember what song we were singing, but they said, "Man, these kids sound pretty good. They might be able to do something, man." And that's how the Little Williams Brothers got started.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the '60s, man.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
And so,
Yes, sir. Back in
wait a second, back in the 60s, down in what state again? Tell these folk about, because they ain't knowing. What's
Mississippi. We're born and raised in a little community called Smithdale, Mississippi. And like I said, back in there, man, my dad had a farm, man. We had 100 acres of land, and ended up selling 20 acres or something. We used to raise everything that we ate, man. Everything. When I say everything, I mean everything.
Wow.
right?
Yeah, man. I mean, we had a farm, man. My dad, we used to raise corn and cotton and all that. Yep. I picked some cotton, Doc. And we had a barn, had a smokehouse, and back in the day, back there, man, they used to kill hogs and invite people from the community to come and just share in the festivities of killing two hogs and sharing the meats and all that stuff. So, but we had vegetables like no other, man.
Wow.
Everything you can think of: peas and butter beans, corn, watermelons, sweet potatoes, Irish potatoes, you name it, we had it. So we were brought up. Actually, I would say we were poor, but we didn't really feel like we were poor because we had everything. We had food on the table, we had shoes on our feet, and we didn't really know about the struggle that my mom and dad was going through until we got up grown, a little grown, because they provided everything. So that's the gift from God and a blessing from God, that really sustained to this day,
But you said, it was interesting you said, because in Mississippi during that time, man, I mean, that was not a good time to be in Mississippi. I mean, so as a young kid, I know that you probably didn't get the full impact of it, but through history, that the writings of history, that was, and then to have 100 acres, come on now, we can't even get 40 acres of a mule nowadays, and we didn't work for that man for how long? So to have 100 acres back then?
Well, and then my dad, he always wanted a house of his own, and so he went to one of the white guys in the neighborhood, and he was telling him, like, man, I'd like to build a house, a small house, and he said, have you ever heard of a thing called FHA? And he's like, yes, but so how did that work? He said, you got some land, right? He said, yes. You got some mules or horses, right? He said, yes. He said, well, that's all you need. Well, just go ahead and sign up and just see if your loan will come through, And from that, man, it came through just by him having some land and some mules, man. And he was able to build a house that we was raised in. Matter of fact, the house is still there, and my sister still stays in the house. That even though it's got some additions on it, she still stays in the house, man. And so it's a rich history, man, behind the Williams brothers. Especially coming up in that era. I was born in the 50s, so in the 50s and 60s, you had segregation, you had all of the things that you didn't want to be involved with, Ku Klux Klan, segregated schools. I knew about that. As a matter of fact, I was in the 10th or 11th grade before we before schools were segregated. I mean, integrated. Before the schools were integrated, integrations. And so I know a little bit about all of it. I've seen, people in the neighborhood and in our community with their houses get burned down, crosses being burnt in the front of their house, and just things like that. So it makes you well aware of your surroundings. And so I thank God for the old and the new, because we went through a lot, but you gotta go through some tests to have a testimony.
Oh, come on.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's a blessing that you got family that's still there. Because, like I said, one thing I'm noticing bringing it to the real, okay? Because we're talking real here. We get a certain amount of position, or we get a certain amount of passéness to us, and we sell off what we have as people of color. We had things like BET, and then we gave it up. We've had radio stations, we give them up. And it's blood, sweat, and tears that we put in, and our family puts in. But then again, when we pass a torch, somehow that torch is being extinguished. And it's a part of the, I'm just trying to not to get politically, but it is a part of the Jim Crow carryover. You know what I'm saying? Of training mentally us to do what they wanted us to do, and they sat back for years and thought up this plan on how to keep us boxed in. And we have not considered that there's something other than the box. So hearing these success stories that you're telling us, man, where I was there, but you said you didn't even feel like you were poor, but you know good and well you realized you were poor, but you weren't.
Right, exactly, man. And so it's just God's plan. It was in the plan, man. And we were able to, and that's why, you know, I when I do my seminars, man, I always try to tell this millennium, the newcomers, and this generation that I mean, what they're enjoying now is you know, is a lot of people have went through a lot of different situations for them to enjoy the success that they are now enjoying, especially in the music field. And then, you know, people are, you know, we used to have a van and cars, and you know, driving in cars and vans with trailers on them, you know, and just going from church to church, school to school back in the day. And so, you know, the first time I you reading on the airplane, I thought they was taking me to heaven, man. Yeah, but so man, yeah. So I just want them to know, this generation to know that they are standing on somebody's shoulders, like Mahalia Jackson, the Soul Stairs, going back to the Harmonizing Four, early days of the Staple Singers, Pop Staples, and you know, back even further, man, the Dixie Hummingbirds, the Nightingales, and Clara Ward, Dr. Love Coates. I can just go on and on, man. Wow. These people, they made a mark in black gospel traditional history, and this generation just need to know how it evolved from that. You know, back in those days, we didn't know what contemporary was, because it really wasn't, you know, for as gospel is concerned. So when contemporary got really popular, you know, was getting there, you know, a lot of people just, they didn't accept it, you know what I'm saying? Because it was so different from what they had been hearing. And now you got contemporary, you got praise and worship, you got urban contempt, you got the spoken word, you got it all. So, but hey, to God be the glory. But just to know and educate yourself about where all this stuff came from is very important to our generation that's here now, and to the music industry, and the people that are singing now and performing now. And I think if they knew that history, that they would really understand and know how blessed we are, and what they do, and how really God has opened doors for them, you know.
No, that's true. And the Williams brothers is one of those mark setters too. I mean, because like I said, you know, you guys, when you say gospel, old school per se, traditional, then your names come up too. And so it's just that, you know, like you said, it's a reconditioning with our young people today. They took away the essence and the importance of our history. And so not only is our background as far as where we come from, how we got here, but also with the music essence where they don't give us, unless you know where you came from, you cannot figure out where you're going. And as long as they keep that background hidden from us, then we're thinking we're doing something new. But I was watching a video on YouTube yesterday, and it was showing me some Michael Jackson and some other people doing some dance sequences, right? And I did not know they had a sequence of, I think it was 1956, and the brother Bojangles, he did the moonwalk. Back then, it flipped me out. I'm like, wait a second. They told me. Now, see, now I'm old enough and I can reason, but they told me that Michael Jackson brought the moonwalk in at Motown 25. And I halfway believed them.
No, it was Jeffrey Daniels before him.
Wait a minute, whoa.
And then you can go back to...
Before Michael.
That's where he got it from.
But Bojangles seems to be the first one that brought it to first. And I watched it and I'm like, go ahead.
But there are also, you know, a lot of. It's funny that you would say that about the moonwalk. Because you can also go on YouTube and go to the old 40s and 50s of the tap dancers, man. They were doing these moonwalk slides back in the day, you know. And actually, James Brown did a little of it too.
Yes, he did.
If you want to know the truth, but I was watching Sammy Davis Jr. and a lot of the old tap dancers, man. They were all out on the stage together. Gregory Hines, and awesome tap dancer, man. Awesome dancer, and these cats were doing stuff. I mean, you could see when you watch them, you can see the Prince in there. You can see the Michael Jacksons in there. Even back on up to because they were before James Brown, so you can see even the James Brown and the Jackie Wilson.
Yes.
I'm gonna call some names people don't know out there.
Come on.
I know those names. I know.
These cats, man, were doing that stuff a long time ago, and they just didn't get the credit and the accolades that they should have gotten a lot of back in the day. But the dance and a lot of that stuff was created way back in the day. So it just go to show you how talented the black generation and black people of color was back in that day. And just to tap on a little bit of what you're talking about when we was talking about surviving and the things that we've been through. That's one of the things that has sustained this generation. I would say the forerunners and the trailblazers, if you want to call me a trailblazer or whatever, and the people that was back there, is because they know what it is. We knew what it is to have to do for ourselves. We knew how to make ends meet. In other words, long story short, we knew how to take a lemon and make some lemonade. Okay. So man. So that's a lot of that is the secret to success, the secret to sustaining, and to top it off, you got to have some prayer and you got to have some faith.
Yes.
You got to have some belief in God and put Him first, and then just know still, because you put Him first, that you still gonna go through some trials, but you got to understand that He's there to bring you out. He's there to guide you. He's there to bring it to the forehead, to the forefront. But a lot of us, we don't have the patience to wait on our success, to wait on our due time, to wait on that door to be open. You know, they come in the music business thinking the door is supposed to already be open for them, and it don't work like that all the time. You know?
Yeah, like we owe them something. But you know what? The shoulders we step on, you know what I'm saying? We gotta know whose shoulders they are, man. Come on now, because they'll tell us anything they want us to know. You know, that it came from this person, and that has nothing to do with our lineage, has nothing to do with color, has nothing to do with our background, because that's the way they want to steer us. So now you're right. Let's bring it down home. We're talking to these youngsters. Youngsters, we need for you to listen. Old folks, we need for you to tell these young people the history. We need for you to point the arrow in the right direction. As brothers like we're talking to now, that is like when I was talking to Shirley Caesar. We did an interview, and she was telling me about times when then she said the money they were making back then, and still, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't enough money to basically survive or do anything with. And then they had to carry their own equipment and go through the back doors. Right. See, we don't see that. We don't hear that today. So we forget that that's the way it happened. And let me say this, if you guys and the guys prior, your predecessors, had not done that, then we wouldn't have any semblance. We probably wouldn't even have what we have now. So we had to build up on something.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. It's building blocks.
That's it, man. That's it, man. You know, and a lot of the artists don't realize, and they take it for granted because they're like, "Yo, yeah, I've heard that before,"
right.
whatever. But they don't understand that a lot of these artists, man, they didn't have the privilege of going to the 4 or 5 star hotels. You know, they were staying in the black-owned hotels, or staying in some people's house or promoters' house, or houses that, you know, that they had provided for them when they come into town, man, and they were riding in cars and stuff. So it you know, and some of the restaurants, man, they couldn't eat at some of the restaurants, man, because blacks wasn't allowed to come in the front, and I never will forget, man, my dad was a brick. He was also a brick mason, brick contractor. And one day we wasn't there, but one day he got off for dinner, man, and he went up to this little malt stand. We call them a little malt stand. That window on this side, window on the other side. You could walk up and place your order. I'd get out of the car and place your order. And so he went there to order lunch, and the guys that was working with him. And they also had a window on the side. The window on the side that you lit up was for they would say the color back then. You go there and order. You can't order in the front line with the whites. So my dad walked up there. You know, he said, "I'm gonna order my food just like everybody else. I ain't got to get it on. Go to the side." And so they would not serve him food, man. So he had a pickup truck, a Ford 1949 Ford pickup truck with the shift in the floor, and he got mad and told the guys, don't order nothing, don't eat your food if you got some or whatever. And they said he spin off rocks and broke a window. And so the police came to the job, told him to get off the scaffold and ask him his name, They put my dad in jail for a week. Just for they say he broke a window, which he didn't. And they put him in jail for a week. And man, somebody came, said one of the guys came in there and told him, he said, "Well, let me tell you something." You know, they call him a couple of names, and we don't do that down here. If you want to do that kind of stuff, you need to go up to Chicago or Detroit, where they doing that kind of essay. You know, that's what they told my dad. He was in jail for a week, man. They finally let him out, man. So just for spinning rocks, you know, because he wanted to be served at the same window that the white people was being served at. So we went through a lot of things, man, a lot of stuff. They went through a lot of stuff to get us where we are, and I'm grateful. And what I try to do is convey that in my music, convey that in my concerts, convey that in doing seminars, and let people know it's a real long history of when it comes to the black community and the black music. it goes further back than Martin Luther King. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, this generation, they when you say Martin Luther King, that's all the further back they go.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go back to Harriet. You got to go back to the Harriet Tubman and all those days.
Mm-hmm.
When it was when they used to have. We have lanterns in the house, that you light the seat. Didn't have electricity. Didn't have inside restrooms, man. And they back in that time, they would, if you were caught reading a book, they would take you out and hang you or kill you or whatever, because they didn't want you educated. They didn't want you to know. And so something so strange, but we're gonna move on to another subject.
Right.
Something so strange that I just learned here like a month or two ago. The slaves would braid their hair in such different ways to let you know what direction they was going in and what they was getting ready to try to do. They would use their braids and their hairstyles as a map.
Wow.
As a map, man. Yes, so y'all need to go check it out and just kind of read up on that, man. They were using their hair and their braids and the different styles or whatever for maps, to get from point A to point B. And I thought that was just,
wow.
I mean, to me, that's brilliant. You know what I mean? That's brilliant, man.
Yeah.
And even like when I sing the songs like "Go Down Moses," when I'm singing, when black people were singing that, I mean, if you think about it, if you think about the song itself, "Go Down Moses, tell old Pharaoh to let my people go."
Right.
So we if they were singing that song back in slavery, they, nobody wasn't trying to find Pharaoh. They was trying. That song means, we trying to get free here.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
No.
So those songs meant something, man. They was a language. They was, because if you got caught talking while you were working in picking cotton back in them days in the slavery, what are y'all talking about? So they sing.
Right.
They sing songs. And a certain song meant something, the words. So that's how, and that was their way of communicating.
Right.
So man, it's a whole lot of things, man. But that brings us up to today, where we are in the music business as a black people and a black race. So we have to know, like you said, to cherish our own, to be appreciative of our own, man. So and they said that's the bottom line.
No, that's real talk. So I'm going to play one of your videos now, and we're going to sit back and join some more Melvins, but listen to this one right here. Let's see, play this one. Lee Williams. Okay, let's do this.
And it felt like cooling water. It felt like cooling water from Grandma's well. Lee Williams, y'all. Sleepless nights and so much pain. Couldn't see no sunshine, nothing but rain. But God said we've been made endure for a night, but in the morning it will be alright. Oh, what a relief it was when God rescued me. He loosed my chains, had me bound, and then He set me free. Felt like cooling water, felt like cooling water, just like cooling water from Grandma's well. It felt like cooling water, felt like cooling water, when He saved
Wow. Well, Melvin, that's what I'm talking about. You know, that's good music. You know what? That's good. Like I said, that's good picking.
Yeah, I was
Yes,
in
sir.
church, man.
Yeah, thanks
I was
for
having church.
Now, yeah. So, talk about that for a minute, man. That's off of your new project, man. And we just want everybody to know what's going on. We just want to bring you the nowadays. What's going on with you now? I like that song. What's going on with it?
The new album with that Sweet Home is called Down Home Gospel. And I did a live recording, man. Basically, a lot of acoustic guitar in it, man. I started by playing my acoustic guitar, and that's the latest CD, man. Down Home Gospel, which I did a DVD documentary on as well, video, which was nominated for Emmy Awards.
Wow.
So, not Grammy, and Emmy Awards.
That's right. That's right. That's
win,
right.
But I was just so grateful to be in the company, man, because it was a whole different ball game over there when you talk about the Emmy Awards. But I want to say something too about you played Cooling Water.
Yeah.
That song is coming up on 17, 18 years old. And but the amazing thing it has had over 16 million YouTube views, man.
Wow.
Of the issues has been over 16 million, man. So I'm just grateful to be the writer of that song.
Hey, ching ching. Can we say take it to the bank? Yeah.
Man, that song really, I tell people literally, and I say it jokingly, but it's really the truth. It paid for my son's car after he got out of high school, my daughter's car after she got out of high school, paid part of their college, and a whole lot of other stuff. You know, God bless me with a cooler water. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Hey, forget dipping your toe, jump all the way in there, huh? That's what I'm talking about.
Oh man, but just grateful, man, for the longevity, man, and to do what I'm doing now is preserving traditional gospel music, you know,
Right.
and to jump out there and do that. Still doing what I'm doing with the Williams brothers,
Right.
Which is my backbone for life, you know.
Right.
And the foundation of, but I branched out to do totally traditional gospel music and to preserve it, you know, in the universities and the colleges and the high schools, and wherever I could present it and do seminars, man. So it's been great, man. And I got that. I had that thing in my heart to where when I came back from my tour, 5-week Euro-Asia tour, went to Russia, Turkmenistan, Azerbaijan, the Republic of Georgia, man, on the U.S. Culture Music Ambassador trip, man. So I, as a U.S. ambassador, but man, I tell you, it validated what I needed to do over here, man, and I knew it was going to be a challenge when it came to traditional gospel music, and that's what I'm doing. You know, like they don't play traditional gospel music on the radio, and that means that, like you say, your ching-ching is not going to be as great as it was.
Right.
But I chose to. To dedicate the rest of my career to preserving traditional gospel music. They also, man, that's why we own that. I want to just say that, you know, there are a lot of people out there that still love this music, still want to hear this music. So we have things that we want to hear, things we want to happen. We have to make some noise, you know.
Yeah, we do.
And one of the ways they can do that is they can go to they can text me. They can go to my Facebook page, man, and they can text in PTGM, which is Preserve Traditional Gospel Music. Text it in and to the phone number 797979. You know, that's PTGM, and go to the number 797979 and just sign up to become a preserve tradition of gospel music soldier, man, and just wherever you can, whatever you can. And I just think, I just think it's just that important, man, for us to preserve that music, because all the other music, I think, has outlets, man, and they have other outlets that's just keeping their music alive, even the jazz music, even the old blues music, and especially the R&B music. You got stations that at times that just focus on that particular genre of music only. They call it, throwback music, back in the day music, whatever, R&B or whatever. But it gets played on the radio, man. So I just want gospel music to have the same opportunity. So that's what I'm doing.
Right.
Amen.
And we need that, man. Like I said, we need to be reminded of those that have weathered the test of time. You know what I'm saying? That's longevity that King talked about, but they don't really understand it. They look at it in the context of what he was saying in his speech. But no, when it comes to longevity in the footwork and the foot soldiers like yourself and those predecessors to you that have gave you the motivation and dedication to stay in there, man. Like I said, you said that the footnote will always be the Williams brothers, but the footprint of Melvin Williams is what you're working with now. Now let's go in a little bit and talk about the project, man. You've been working on this project. You've been doing your touring. You're getting ready for the new touring season coming up. Talk about some of the things you want to do here. We're playing some of your music off of the new CD too in the background as we're talking. So I just want to let people know what it can get you, how to get you, and get a copy of this, man, because we're gonna be playing it up in here. This is gonna be one of my mainstays. So it's just a good thing.
Well, man, well, I appreciate you, man. Listen, man, and for a lot of more information and for bookings, concerts, and you name it, man. I'm doing a lot of all of it, man. Weddings, I'm doing, pastors and churches anniversaries, choir anniversaries. But for that, they could contact my manager and booking manager at 414-699-8357, and that's once again 414-699-8357, and that's for Bridget Fleury, and she's been booking me for forever, man, probably 15 years, and you can follow me on all the social media at _Melvin Williams, and you can check me out then on Instagram, Facebook, a little Twitter, and all of it, man. So I've been around for a bit, but I'm still trying to be social media friendly.
Savvy. Me and you both, you know what I'm saying? But you know what? God would not brought us this far, man, to leave it. Look, we're going to get some team or some cats that come and say, look here, we got this. We understand. We heard you.
Yeah.
We heard you. And this is what we can bring to the table. And we need that, man, because it's all about the social media world now. But behind that social media world, you got to have something of substance to put across. And you're bringing the substance. So that's all good, man. So now you got your setup so far for the 1900 the 2019 series now you're putting together, right, for some of your tours. So you got LA in sight.
I'm planning on coming to LA. I got LA is I like LA, man, and
right. I'm glad you like LA.
And state.
Right.
But I it's a whole different vibe on the West Coast, man. So I enjoy the music out there, and I want to come and do the Grammy Museum again, and maybe do some of the universities and colleges out that way. But LA is very unique when it comes to music. But the main thing I found out, man, is that there are a lot of people out there, a lot of black people, but there's not a whole lot of people that's playing black gospel music on the radio. So it's kind of strange, man, for the music not to be played as much as it is on the East Coast or in the central parts of the United States. So we want to make this music relevant, man. We want to make it. I'd like to see more radio stations that are covering gospel music, period. I'm not going to say traditional, just covering gospel music, period.
Right.
And more outlets for gospel music and gospel artists, man, because it's just so needed, man. And there is nothing wrong with growth and change and being as they said, with the now. But we got to understand that there's a purpose and a reason behind all this stuff, and a whole lot of this stuff mostly is money driven. That nowadays it's money driven. So we got to be so careful. Even though we want to make money, you want to be successful, you want God's blessings, but you also have to be very careful and to know that this is a business, but it also it's a ministry.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes.
So we got to be very careful. You got to be very careful to know that where to draw the.
Okay. Yeah. Hello. Okay. So let me bring this up. Okay.
It's all right. You know who that was.
Yeah, so,
that was the devil right there. Because when he got to talking deep about really what's going on.
Yeah, but he got
what we talked about, later, or I should say earlier, how it's a ministry. And it's, man.
Something else.
He was just on point. I was ready to run up and down the halls over here.
I know you were.
I was just busting, man. I'm like, wow. He's really putting it on.
You know what? But things happen like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially, like I said, when you find out that you're trying to get something done. But, we're hearing the music of Melvin Williams right now. And there he is right now.
All right. Okay. Amen.
Hello? Okay, so you're... Yeah, you're back. Okay, go ahead, Melvin.
I don't know where I cut off at.
We were talking about the ministry. Wait a second. When you start talking about the ministry, the enemy just jumped up and said, I'm going to cut this off.
That's all that was.
Yes, and then we figured that out. No, go ahead.
But I just thought the music industry, man, is you can't get caught up in the hype, can't get caught up in the fame and fortune. And I was saying that I want to be remembered as leaving something, a legacy that will go on and on when I'm not here. That people can look up to and people can take and make it bigger, be a positive, for an advocate for gospel music and not just to be out here singing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
Have a purpose in life, man, a purpose and a meaning, and not just for the fortune and fame, but that's what you need to. I think that's what we need to live by. That's why I say, that's why the Motown area and the Philadelphia International area and the Stax record area, those songs and those artists, they last so long. Those songs are still around because they had substance, they had meaning, they had something that people could relate to and still can relate to. When you put the needle down, when they had needles, man.
Oh yeah, we remember that.
Taking them back, guys. I'm taking them back.
Yep.
Come on now, come on.
The needle on the vinyl, man.
Yeah.
And you play a song like "You Are the Sunshine of My Life." Play a song like, all of these songs that they were playing back then. Stairway to Heaven and people all over the world, Johnny and Love Train.
Yeah.
So these songs had meanings, man.
Right.
Even the songs when they were talking about, just say a song like The Temptations and Smoke Around, I Wish It Would Rain. Just all you have to do is listen to the words. That song has got a story in it, man. he wanted the rain because he don't want the world to see him cry.
Right.
They can't tell the tears from the rain.
Right.
Yeah, man. He was talking about the hurt, man.
Yeah.
The hurt, man. So the thing that he was going through. So those songs had meaning, had substance, man. So that's what I want to leave, man, with as a legacy, man. Songs with substance, so people can grab hold to the Melvin Williams and say, "Wow, this is something that will help me go farther." Grab on to the Williams brothers, grab on to a Jackson Southern Air song, a Haley Jackson, or a Bonnie Cloud of George song, on a Caravan, and say, "Wow, this stuff is good," and that's what I want to do, man.
Sound like you're doing it.
I mean, everybody that's out there listening, I just I want them to know that I appreciate them supporting me and all the longevity that we've given the Williams brothers down through the years, man. We've had a chance to sing in the White House with Aretha Franklin and do concerts all across the United States with Queen Aretha, man, and just. I guess I can say, and it's not a pat on the back, but it's a blessing from God that the Williams brothers and myself, we've probably sang with everybody. I've been around everybody that's really done something in the last 20 years, 25 years in gospel and secular music. We've been around a lot of them, man, and God has allowed us to meet or sing or do something with some of these artists. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's a blessing, man. It's a blessing. It is a blessing.
No.
Amen.
Yeah. So, now before we go any further, those people that look, folks, get you a pen and a paper because he's going to give those numbers again. Slowly. He's going to give it to you slowly so you can write. So we know some of you folks got to get the cheaters and everything else. So, hey, we're going to give you a couple seconds
to get the pen and the paper.
That's correct. Not no pencil. A pen, because we want to permanently sit down, and Melvin's going to take his time and run those numbers back by us again on how to catch him, because we're going to keep in contact with you. Like I said, our house is your house, man. Like I said, man, we're going to talk more about that in a minute, but okay, I think we done gave him enough time to get the pencils and papers, right? Okay, Melvin, go ahead and give us all the hookups on how to get you.
All right, they can call for bookings or whatever their needs are from me, from this end, and the Williams brothers. You can call Bridget Fleury. That's BRIDGET Fleury. FLEURY. Bridget Fleury at 414-699-8357. That's 414-699-8357. And you can follow me on to become a PTGM soldier, which is Preserve Traditional Gospel Music. You can go to your phone and you can text in PTGM to the number 797979, and you can join me to preserve traditional gospel music. And all of my social media, you can go to @_Melvin Williams.